Rise and shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Today is topic number 337. We're going to be talking about encryption and protecting your sensitive data. This is part of my series in making sure that your business is secure. You understand your security and your cybersecurity associated with your small business. And encryption and sensitive data is a big one. So what is sensitive data? I'm going to say just about anything that you use in your business, anything that can be used to personally identify your customers, clients, prospects is sensitive data. In episode 330, I think it's 35. Yep, 335. I spoke about the fact that we actually, as business owners, particularly within Australia, have some legislative requirements to report data breaches and to ensure that we take all reasonable actions to protect our customer data. And so this is all part of why I want to talk about it, because there's things that we can be doing. There's things that we need to understand in all of this. And one of them is encrypting your data. So what do I mean by encrypting your data? Basically, if you were to pull up a text file, for example, you can read a text file. If you bring it up in a notepad, you can read whatever that data is. That's unencrypted data. Now, there is a way of saving that data and running it through an algorithm, and unless you've got the right key to unencrypt that data, if you open that file in, it says .text on it, but if you open that file in Notepad, you can't read it. It's encrypted. It's gobbledygook, basically. So that's what I mean by encrypting it. It's making it unreadable unless you've got the right certificate key pair or key to unlock it. It's a key, unlocking something there. And there's two parts to that encryption. There's the encrypting it during transmission while it's in transit from one location to the other. And then there's encrypting it while it is being stored. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research in readiness for this episode. That when it's stored, that's called data at rest. And I want to point that out because a lot of documentation I was reading was saying, and for data at rest, I thought I understood what it meant. I needed to make sure that I did, because that's the way I roll. Yeah, data at rest is when it is not being transmitted. So when it's stored on your computer, when it's stored up in the cloud, that's data at rest. When it's being transmitted, when I am copying it from my computer up into the cloud, that's being transmitted. Just so we understand some of the basics here. So it is important that anything that you're storing is encrypted, so that if someone actually gets physical access to the storage medium where it's stored, I'm going to talk about storage first, data at rest first. So if someone gets physical access to the storage medium, unless they've got the right application with the right key, they can access the data. That's not a problem, but they can't read it. They can't use it. That data is unusable to them. So we're going to encrypt the data when it's on our hard drives. We're going to encrypt the data when it's up in the cloud. The notes I have here is, your business email and your cloud storage and your payment processing systems are probably the three most important things that you need to make sure are encrypted. I've done some investigation, as I do. Basically, all of your cloud providers, or the three cloud providers that I recommend for businesses, M365, Zoho, and Google, all have levels and reasonably secure levels of encryption for data at rest. So if their systems are hacked and people get access to the physical data, it's going to be a lot harder for them to unencrypt it and to get access to the real data that's in there. So that's really important for us to know. Now, if they manage to hack our email account and then get access to our email through that, well, they've got the key. That email account has got the key associated with it. It's a different issue. But if you've got it stored and it's stored in one of these places, you can be reasonably assured that you have your data encrypted. So that's really important. Cloud storage is the same. So M365, Zoho, Google, with all of their storage associated with it. They also implement similar levels and similar types of encryption to the business email, unsurprisingly. Payment processing systems, it might sound strange that we're throwing that in there and like, oh, it's all secure, isn't it? Well, never used to be. And there are still some legacy systems that we trip over that I can go into the database, I can open the database up and I can see credit card numbers, I can see CCNs, CCVs, the 3-digit numbers, and I can see the name of the card holder. They're all stored in plain text. So it's not just enough that the database itself is encrypted. We need to make sure that the data within the database is encrypted, particularly that sensitive information. And that is entirely possible to do with databases. We just need to make sure that it is done. So when you're talking with your payment processing systems, or looking at payment processing systems, these are the things to consider. Most of the modern, in fact, pretty much all of the modern payment processing systems don't have these issues. But if you've been in business for a long time and you've got a legacy shopping cart system, you might want to look into it and make sure that you are absolutely covered with this one. There are still some out there that I trip over every now and again and go, oh, we need to fix that. We need to move you away from this payment processor and move you to something that's much more secure, because this is a major risk, because it's you that wears the risk. Yes, your provider will wear the risk, but you also wear the risk, and you will also go for a row if something goes wrong. So make sure that you understand what is encrypted, how it's encrypted. Yeah, and I'm not saying you need to understand the ins and outs of it. Just understand at a very high level the types of encryption offered to you by your providers, and it's really important. So we've spoken a little bit about some of the tools that you can use, like all of your high level, sorry, your premium mail providers, tools of providers like Google, Microsoft, and Zoho all have levels of encryption there. So that's cool. If you wanted to go with someone else, you might look at ProtonMail. That's another one that probably has another degree of encryption available to it. That's pretty cool. And if you wanted to just look at securing data on your computer and have that encrypted, VeraCrypt and BitLocker are things that you can look at as well. But make sure you understand how the encryption works. Make sure you understand how you need to store the key. And when I talk about the key, that might be a little digital file that you need to point to and say, this is my key to be able to get in here. You might need to put it on a data stick or something to be able to unlock the data so that you can read it. Make sure you understand how it all works and that you've got processes in place to keep the key safe and you don't lose it, because if you lose it, you won't be able to get access to your data. The last part of that is your backups and making sure that, well, first of all, we haven't spoken about backups in a long time. Make sure you're backing up things, particularly if you're storing things on your computer. Make sure that you are backing them up. A lot of people like to use cloud-based environments, and that's entirely possible and recommended. But I would also recommend having a local hard drive, one of those little portable SSD hard drives, where you back up onto that as well. Maybe have a couple and rotate them through, and you do one, and when you've got that backup done, you take that physical device and you take it off-site. We used to take them down to the post office and have the post office hold them for us, and then you do the next, and each day you're rotating them through into a different location, from a different location to where you are, so that you've got off-site backups. And that's one reason why cloud backup is also very popular, because that is an off-site backup that you can access. But once you're doing your backups, you should also make sure that the physical backup file itself is encrypted, so that if it gets compromised, it's really hard to get into as well. So make sure that's all happening. Really important stuff. I've kind of glossed over it a lot because most of this stuff comes down to tick the box. Yes, it's encrypted. You don't need to understand how it's encrypted. What you need to understand is the level of encryption offered, whether that level of encryption meets the requirements for your industry and for your use case, and how you access that encrypted data after you have encrypted it and stored it off wherever it is. That's what you as a business needs to understand. So take some time to work that out. Again, if you're not sure, you can always book a free 30-minute consultation with me. I'm happy to have a chat with you about all of these things. And if I can't help you directly, I can point you in the right direction, or I can find someone who can help us. But if it's not me, go and talk to someone that you trust and really understands this stuff to get to point you in the right direction and help you be secure and meet all your requirements. It's really important, guys. Alrighty, a slightly shorter one today, which is probably good given the last couple have been a bit longer. What do you guys think? Leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to this video. You can DM me on any of our social media channels. I will respond to you. Or you can come across and join our locals community. Ask charlyleetham.locals.com. Join the conversation there. I will be there and I will happily speak to you through those mediums. If you can, please remember to like this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And I will be back tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about, topic number 338 tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about common cybersecurity mistakes. Talk to you all tomorrow, guys. Bye.